he was like, oh man, I probably should have told her this a long time ago. He's like, yeah, if you're gonna be having sex, you gotta use condoms. And I was like, what the fuck?
Welcome to another amazing episode of Careful Boys. We have with us the lovely Anthony Lee and Kalyne Lionheart.
Oh, wow. The duo. Kalyne Lionheart of Lionheart Jiu-Jitsu.
What the hell is that? All right, I wanted to know from you guys, because I don't think we've ever talked about this, but what was the first thing your parents taught you about gay people?
Oh, shit. That's a good question.
So my uncle was gay, and I didn't understand like what that really was. But my uncle used to like always come visit, and he would always like load his whole fucking station wagon up with like stuff from the thrift store, and then he would come with his friend, and then like it was like him and his friend hanging out in our place for a couple days. But like I didn't know that meant like him and his friend were like, you know, best buds and like all kinds of other stuff. I just thought that they were friends. But then I just think that they didn't know how to bring it up to me. And then when my uncle eventually like this is all during all the AIDS stuff of like the 80s and 90s, like my uncle actually, everyone got told that my uncle has AIDS, and then my parents were just like, it was from a dirty needle. Like that's what they said. That's what they said, and I was like young enough where I didn't really understand any of that. But then later on, like this is probably like 10 years later, probably 10 years later. I remember my mom was hearing like a bunch of shit from, you know, you're a kid, you talk a lot of shit, and we had just, you know, you're at that age where anybody talking about you being gay, you have to like be like no. And I think my mom saw me doing that, and she's like, you know, your Uncle Bob was gay. And then I was like, what? I was like, Uncle Bob was gay? And she would like tell me, and like she was like, yeah, he was gay. And that kind of ended up putting together later on that like, you know, he had died of AIDS like during all that stuff, which was a huge thing at the time. Yeah. And then my mom just telling me that they're just like anybody else, like treat them just like the same amount of respect that you have for your neighbors. Like that, we always raise you to have respect for your neighbors. It's the same idea, and I was like, holy shit. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I did not have that from my parents. My mom, I think anytime I would just joke about it because I think once I started understanding that she was so like Asian by the book with certain things, and that also means like it's very complex to talk about things. You don't confront a lot of things. You don't fucking, you know what I mean? If I would even joke around and be like, Mom, I met this black girl, and she'd be like, what? Cause you know what I mean? That's just like how it always was. Yeah. Or anytime, like if I want to go further with it, you know, eventually learn, I'd be like, well, I'm gay, and she'd be like, in Vietnamese, she'd be like, don't say nonsense like that. You're crazy. So it would just always be this short, dismissive
joke about it.
Wasn't even, you know what I mean? So I just never had any conversation of actual depth or anything with my parents about stuff like that.
I just cut it off right away.
Yeah, I just learned from friends and school and TV and everything else. Which I also just like, I also respected my parents, their own upbringing, and maybe trying to think about like maybe the way they were raised. You know what I mean? Or the way they were taught things, or the things that they were exposed to, versus being like, you're ignorant. You know what I mean? You guys don't get it, you have to understand. You know, I was just kind of like, all right, so you don't understand, but that's okay. Or maybe they do, and we just can't, we have a language barrier. We'll never really be able to communicate in a way that like, this is gonna be intellectual, or I'm gonna grow from it. You know what I mean?
So is it something you guys feel like you'll ever get on the same page about, or even the same understanding about? Or it's just one of those things like, you're just gonna have your thoughts, I have my thoughts, I don't care if we ever even know if we see eye to eye on anything?
I think on topics like homosexuality, it's not so directly involved in my life, so I don't necessarily need to like figure out how to build that bridge of conversation. But I'm sure, you know, even to fucking have a conversation about like having children, or even the idea of like religion, you know, I feel like those are things that are more, I'm still more curious to be able to like figure out how to have those conversations with my parents. You know what I'm saying?
The one where I did have to try to build a bridge was I haven't talked to my mom and my dad in so long, when COVID came around. You know, when like the whole vaccine stuff came, it's like people felt very strongly a certain way or the other.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird. I was like, oh shit, am I about to like have a political conversation with my parents? Because I don't know where they sat on things. And so I'd be like, oh, hey mom, like, are you gonna get the vaccine? And I'm like, hey dad, are you gonna get the vaccine? And it was just crazy. They were complete opposite. I'm like, no vaccine, don't trust nothing, Western medicine, no, all poison. And my dad's like, oh, I got vaccine right away, you gotta be safe, we gotta protect each other. And I was like, oh shit, this is fucking normal. I didn't think it was gonna be so polar opposite.
That's why they're not together.
Exactly. For me, mine was, I think, in early college. So there's like this Asian trope, which is pretty true, where like no boyfriend and girlfriend in high school. Then once you get in college, like when you're about to graduate, it's like, how come you don't have any kids? It's like this is this weird thing. And then so my dad's like, you need to fucking start having some kids, man. And I'm like, I don't even have a girlfriend, so I don't know how it's gonna happen. And my dad's like, you don't need one. You just need to have a girl. You have a baby, because I'm getting to that age where I need a grandson. And then I remember one time, what if I was gay? And I can't even impregnate a girl or whatever. And then I would just saw my dad's like brain fucking like start melting. Like, no, you Chinese, you not gay. I'm pretty sure there's Chinese gay people out there.
Yeah. And then probably more than anyone in the world. There's billions and billions.
Mathematically, that's true.
Like, come on.
The odds are in your
His
favor.
brain was just fucking. I was just like, oh shit! I can't believe I fucking made his brain malfunction. You need to fucking control alt delete his ass.
So he never talked to you about it when you were a kid?
Never.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never ever.
My parents didn't really talk about, like, I was really, right when you asked that, I was like, man, I don't think.
Isn't that a
Yeah, I can't think of a scenario that
Yeah.
I had a conversation about it where it was brought up.
Or like they explained
it.
You know, like just the other night, my wife was like, when did your parents have like the sex talk with you? And I was like, dude, I vaguely remember it. I don't really remember it at all. And it was just like very basic, and that was it. So like as far as like the gay conversation, I think I learned everything through like movies and TV and through like friends. Like that was how I learned everything. But then the one time my dad ever like brought this up to me, kind of like what he said to you, it was like, I think I was a junior in high school, and it was me, my mom, my dad, and we were on a road trip to San Diego, and my mom was in the convenience store or something. And it was like a Windstar Ford van, so it was like 3 rows, and I was like all the way in the back because I was a cool kid.
I like
Shit.
those.
Wow, that's so cool, man.
My dad's in the front, and he's like,
E350.
and he just looks in the rearview mirror, and he goes, "Hey Nick, do you like talk to girls at your school?" And I'm like, "What do you? Yeah, I talk to girls. Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Nah, I just want to make sure that like, you know, you have like girlfriends and stuff. Like, do you talk to girls actively?" And I was like, and before this, my dad never like asked questions like this. He don't ask questions about like my day-to-day life or anything like that. Like every now and then it'll be like general stuff, but like for him to go in that in depth, I'm just like already like, oh dad, like, come on, man.
Wait, that's like the scene in Dahmer.
Yeah.
That's like straight up the scene in Dahmer.
Exactly.
Maybe that's my origin story.
Do you think that took your dad a while to build up? He's like, I think my son's gay. I'm just gonna
Probably.
broach this thing.
He probably was like, I don't know. I don't know what my dad thought of us. Like, I have no idea. So, and it was like always dependent on his mood. So the fact that he even asked me that, I was like, this is so fucking weird. But that's probably as close as we've ever talked about. And then as far as like, my sister was dating this girl for a while. And when she told my mom about it for the first time, like that was kind of a weird thing. Because I wasn't expecting my mom to react the way that she did. Like she was kind of like disbelief. Like she just kind of didn't really like.
Impossible.
It didn't, and because that's the thing is like it didn't really make that much sense to her. She just like couldn't. She was like, what? Like it was kind of like that.
What kind of type of lesbian was your sister? Like the lipstick type of lesbian, or like the bush style? You know what I'm saying? Like signs that led up. Or
not
was it
really.
More like she really just looked like a regular kind of girl.
Wear a lot of flannels.
She's hybrid, bro.
Von Dutch?
Hybrid.
She could do both.
Oh.
Like she fucking rocks. She could dress up real nice. She
I was
could
just
fucking,
seeing if there was signs for your mom to not be as much in
No.
I'm not
No.
sure your sister exists according to Anthony's laundry.
Yeah, my sister's not real.
Steve's sister's hot. Did you hear about that?
Nah, but like when she was having this conversation with my mom, like me sitting there, and I was like maybe like early 20s, like super early 20s. So I wasn't really good at like conversating, having these like hard, difficult conversations. But I just was sitting there in the room. There's a lot of crying. There's a lot of like maybe a little bit of shouting here and there, like just trying to get on the same page a little bit.
Between your sister and your mom?
Yeah, there was a lot of tension. And then
what was the shouting coming from? From disappointment or from like no way, like disbelief? Or?
Well, my sister was already kind of like, the way the conversation was going, my sister was already a little upset, you know, so she kind of was just like a little, obviously it's very emotional. She didn't really know how to like navigate this conversation. At the same time too, it's like sometimes you're saving face with how you have conversations with your parents because you don't want to like upset them or make them feel some type of way. So sometimes there was points where I felt like maybe she's like leaving some things out to save my mom's feelings a little bit, you know, because my mom didn't really take it the best way. But that was really interesting. But over time, that changed because of the way she saw my sister and her girlfriend interact. Like she became part of the family, and it wasn't really a thing at all.
Nice.
But initially, it was just like, what? Like, what? Huh? Like she kind of was shocked.
How did your dad take it?
That motherfucker didn't even know, bro. Like that's the thing. Like he. This is the thing about my family, dude. Like this dude, I don't think he really knew about it until like 2-3 years in. Years.
Whoa.
Yeah, bro.
So she would bring the same girl around,
and they were like best homies. They were like best homies, so they'd always kick it. So we'd always be like, oh, it's just both of them. Like she was just part. She would always come over, and be at the crib all the time, you know,
having sleepovers all the time.
And your mom didn't talk to your dad about it? Or do you think?
See, that's the thing. It's like
she told him, and he's like, "That's nice, honey."
Like that's.
Or was your dad to your sister? He's like, hey, you talk to guys?
Actively?
You talking to dudes or like what's the like? I think he just was so. He also doesn't not have these conversations either. Like he doesn't know how to preface these.
No dad asks his daughter that question.
Yeah, like and it just never came up. So like I think eventually when they found out, once they found out, she just never brought it up. He would just always be like, "How's that? Like how's so and so?" Oh, good, cool, and that was it.
Wow, it's like a silent understanding.
Silent understanding, even to this day. Like he asked me a couple like maybe like a year ago. They had broken up, but he goes, "Hey, are they still together?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's like fucking old news, bro. 2 years, 2 years."
For a guy that doesn't hear a lot of things, it's kind of ironic. He works in sound design.
Seriously, dude. He sound effects, not dialogue.
Difference.
He's fucking
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's a good time. Damn. You asking me to talk to girls?
Hold on, can you actually shut up, please? Hold on, I gotta get this.
You know, the only time my dad talked to me about girls, it was really late. I was already traveling and teaching, like choreography, straight up. But I mean, I think he just knew that I'd have girlfriends from time to time.
That's crazy. You already like 40 deep.
This is talking about like sex. This is him trying to talk to me about sex.
Triple digits.
Shut the fuck up. This is him trying to talk to me about sex, right? And he like picks me up from the airport. Right? I'm coming back from this trip and stuff, and then we're just talking in the traffic, and he's bringing up stuff. He's like, so and I've already been to like hella places, and finally he's like, so you go out there, and you teach. I'm like, yeah, you know this, and he's like, yeah, and you hang out. I was like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you got, definitely have fun. Sometimes you throw events. I'm trying to like, give him details. Like, okay, so, and then and I already started to know where this is going. I was like, why is this
give your heart to Christ?
Yeah, why is he tiptoeing so much?
Because they don't know how to fucking put the words together,
It's weird, yeah.
That's what it is.
A lot of it is like just even vocabulary. Like, what's the appropriate vocabulary to like fucking talk to your children about something that's appropriate, there's no way in hell he can be scientific about it and be like, do you guys have sex? There's no way.
Is there a Vietnamese equivalent of like a slang you could say?
They've never taught me. I have third grade language.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? But finally he's just like, okay, so you hang out with other people.
Students?
Wow, not even girls. You just straight people.
Not yet.
Wow.
And then I was like,
You hang out with humans?
yeah, I'm like, so then at this point, it was like so fucking like moving the needle, like every fucking 100 years. So I'm like, I hang out with people. I meet a lot of people. Sometimes they're girls.
Oh.
And I just straight that. I said that because I was like, where's this going?
You know, smiling right after he goes.
And then no. He high-fived
And then
me.
the conversation ends.
Yeah, he's like,
He handed me a box of condoms. No. And then from there, the second I broke the ice, I thought this was actually gonna turn into. I was like, damn, I'm actually gonna have a talk with my dad.
At like 20 something?
Yeah. And then he ends it with going, "You have to be smart, okay?"
Wow.
And that's it.
He doesn't tell you.
There's always a lesson.
That's it.
Just gotta be smart.
you know what my talk with my dad was? So his was like, once we started getting booking for shows and stuff, going everywhere, he was like, hey, so, you know, when you get famous, lots of people are gonna like you. And he goes, but you and Gio are strong.
Oh, see, that's good. That's already so depth.
much
And then so he goes, so, put the money in the envelope, give to them. Heart, stay with Gio. Other people, only money,
Brilliant.
only kids everywhere else. But your real kids here. I'm like,
He said only kids.
all the
every-
allegations that my mom
plant
had
the
that like
seed.
my dad cheated on her, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Damn. Teaching you like Goodfellas stuff.
Yeah, he was just like,
What I'm getting from this is that you cheated.
so I think pretty much it's like, these are all side bitches. Don't let side bitches are cool.
Yeah.
Don't let it affect your real shit. Like your priorities.
Hey,
God,
that's
that's
side bitches are for money, and this is your heart.
Dude, I was.
Shit.
So my talk with my dad was, it came like because of urgency. So I used to work at my dad's business, right? And one day I'm going to the bathroom and I'm peeing blood.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, holy shit, why the fuck am I peeing blood? And then
Does it look bright red? What is pink blood?
it looks like blood.
Whoa.
And it's like, oh shit. So I'm like,
Fucking scream.
yeah, dude, I was like so confused. I was like, why the fuck am I? I was like, why am I peeing blood, right? Yeah. So then I had this pain. I had this pain like in my side for a while too, and it would like jolt out of nowhere, and I was like, what the fuck is that pain? And so then I'm peeing blood. And I told Dad, I'm like, hey Dad, I'm like, I was just in the bathroom and I peed blood, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. And he was like, holy shit. He had no clue about it at all. He was like, holy shit. He was like, oh man. Oh, I probably should have told you this a long time ago. He's like, yeah, if you're gonna be having sex, you gotta use condoms. And I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
He was at,
Wait, where you guys going?
because I hadn't really had sex, so I was like, this isn't what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, but he was immediately like beating himself up. Like, I should have told you this shit a long time ago.
I'm a ruined man. I'm a
Steve got it.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck did I do? No, so then
Son's got the clap.
So then the pain got worse and worse, and it was my first kidney stone experience. Oh. But we didn't know. But my dad is immediately like, my son has an STD. I didn't fucking tell him. I can't believe this shit. He was like beating himself up instantly. But like, yeah.
Oh my god.
That's fucking funny.
Right?
Oh jeez.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh God.
Oh, I mean, at least it was just a kidney stone.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I was not a very sexually active youth. So I knew.